Leather, yellow leather, yellow leather, red. Boom, ska, boom, 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 zam, boom, boom, zam, boom, zam, boom, zam, boom, boom, zam, boom, zam, boom, zam, boots and cats and boots and cats and womp, ska, womp, 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 womp. Hey, what's up? What's up, bitches? What up, ladies? What up, gentlemen? Welcome to the Dynamite podcast, or Dynamite Gizmo podcast. Episode number 83. Wow! 83. We're working our way slowly, efficiently to 100. Say it again, why don't you? Because you say it every episode. Yeah. I've got a new angle. The old angle. Bit different. I hated that angle. I hate this angle. There's nothing really else I can do other than these two angles because the computer's right here. I can't move the desk around. And even if I did, there's still no place to put the camera. This room is not designed for this. So what you're seeing is the bottom edge of the California Reefer. You're not going to be able to see the California Reefer for now. I might change it later. But we got trees and over here we got a little bit of mushrooms. You don't get to see the bigger ones. Well, you kind of do. I gotta look down to see the viewfinder because I'm using a mirror because it's I don't need to explain this shit. But what I do have coming, it's not, this is temporary, but who knows how temporary it's gonna be. I'm gonna find a better angle eventually. I'm gonna find a better place eventually. But for right now, this is how she be. I got a little sleeve for my mic. Make it stand out a bit. But this microphone is not... Whoops. See, it's so fucking heavy. It doesn't even... I gotta tighten it, I guess, but... this... It's a good mic. It's a Blue Yeti. They're good mics, not the greatest. They're better than average for sure. But like I said, when someone sees you using a Blue Yeti, they're going to say, look at this fucking amateur. And I don't want that. So I got a new microphone on the way. It's a Shure microphone. It's not the high quality ones that you see on the Joe Rogan podcast that are like $600. This one was one of the cheaper ones, less than $100. Why did I tell you the price? But that, we'll see how that goes. It has excellent reviews. Any Shure product is good. And again, that microphone will be temporary. Because eventually I plan on getting the ones that you see on the Joe Rogan podcast and pretty well every other podcast. Any podcast that is established has those microphones. And you know what? There's a reason they have those microphones. Not only that, this mic stand that I'm using, whatever you want to call it, you can't see it right now. But the thing I can move the mic on, this is a cheap one. It's flimsy, and if there's any amount of extra weight on it, because each microphone weighs a little bit different. If there's any, if it's even slightly too heavy, it just falls on itself. Because it's, you know what, stupid idiot, you can fucking tighten it, right? Can I? Yeah, you dumb. You can fucking tighten it. Oh, God. Why wasn't I thinking? I can fucking tighten this bullshit. I need a wrench to tighten this one, though. But I'll do that. I'll do that later. I don't need to do that right now. Just keep this mic right here. Is it? And also, this fucking pop filter is not stable enough. There's a lot of Bologna. A lot of Bologna you gotta deal with. I should use that mic stand, actually. That would be better. But, fuck it. Fuck it, you know? There's so much shit to figure out. Like this, you might watch this and think, oh, I could do that. It's simple. And you can. Literally anybody could do a podcast. But when you get into it, you realize you're constantly fucking around with shit. And there's always new things to do. It's just like anything. Because you figure out, oh, there's a better way to do this. I'm going to order this to make it easier. And then you're like, oh, that didn't work out so well. So you try this and then that. And then doop-a-dee-bop and then coops and then cops. And they always keep asking the same fucking questions. What school did I go to? What hood? Okay, you know. E-Minum? Eminem? Episode 83, ladies and gentlemen. We got one topic to talk about, but don't worry. I'm comfortable. And I'm ready to release the hounds. I'm gonna talk about stuff. I can do it. We can screw it. Mac 10 can do it. I can do it. Nate Dogg, right? Come here, Nate Dogg. Come here, Olive. Come here. Boop. Can you see him? A little bit. I long for the day when I get a profesh camera that has a viewfinder I don't have to bend down to look at. And I live in a place with a room specifically specificated, you know, a room that's designed for podcasting. Ooh, someday, over the rainbow. I daydream constantly. Especially when I'm at work, because we can spend a lot of time just driving. And that's when I do most of my daydreaming. When I'm driving, I just look out the window and I could have a lot of fun daydreaming. People tend to sit on their phones and fuck around and with stuff, but I find it more fun to just daydream. You can have so much fun daydreaming and you don't even realize. Maybe you do, I don't know. But if you put me in a room, I wondered this. If you put me in a room, just like what Michael Stevens did on his Mindfield show, put me in a room, lock the door. There's only a bed and a fridge in there or something. It's all white, solitary confinement. Now, the average person, or more than the average person, he concluded that, what was it, within like 3 days, you can become mentally insane or something. And I thought about that. You know, I'm really good at entertaining myself with my thoughts, my daydreams, but they can only last for so long, right? I'm sure. I know. What am I saying? There's no way I could do the solitary confinement and fucking be fine. Maybe. I don't know. I doubt it, though. Because I do like being alone in my own little space. And I'm fine just having my mind to entertain me. Because I can do that, and I do it. There's plenty of times where I would rather just fuck around in my mind than fuck around on my phone. The phone, when you're sitting on the phone on social media, which is generally what everyone does, or you're playing one of those stupid games like Candy Crush, like, what is that doing to your brain? We know that it it definitely has negative effects, especially when you're looking at all these people who are pretending that they're living a good life. And while I was in the middle of that sentence, I was thinking about this angle and how I might not want to stick with it. Ooh. God, I wish I had an audience so I could just ask the audience and say, I'm going to take a poll. What do you prefer? The top angle or that side angle? I gotta figure this shit out by myself until I get that audience. I'm really in a comfortable spot in terms of this podcast because here's why. For one, I enjoy doing it. I look forward to doing it, which I can't say that about a lot of things. But this is definitely something I think about all day, and then I can easily just step into it without any doubt. You know, it's not like there's a lot of things in life where you'll step in to do it and you'll say, I'll wait till tomorrow, and you'll procrastinate and slough it off. But this, I've done enough of these now. I've done enough to make myself comfortable and willing to do these on a regular basis. I haven't done enough yet where, I develop this turned into something that's financially viable yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. You can't give up, am I right? You heard that your whole life. All those cliches. All the nonsense that you sloughed off throughout your childhood. Those are the things you got to pay attention to, my friend. You gotta do the cliches. The clickety-click cliche. 'Cause they're true. They're true. And however long it takes, no matter what, if it's the thing you want to do, and I've said this last episode, I say it pretty well every episode, and I'll say it again, you gotta stick with it. Stick with it. Stick with it. You don't believe me? You're watching this video right now, maybe, and well, obviously you're watching it if you're listening to what I'm saying, but you're watching this right now. You're seeing that I have like 2 views on this video. And you're saying, what the fuck does this guy know about YouTube? And you could say, I know nothing. And I don't know what I'm doing. But here's what I'll say. I have been on, and I've said this before, and you're probably sick of hearing me say this, but I've been on YouTube since 2006, okay? This channel hasn't, but I have. And I've said it before, I've had a channel before this one that got deleted. If you want to know why, watch the first video on this channel. That'll explain. But anyway, what was I getting at here? Oh yeah. I've been on YouTube since 2006. I grew up with YouTube. YouTube was my television. Although I watched TV here and there, when I'd come home from school, I'd go straight to the computer and watch YouTube. And I've always been that way, right up till today. YouTube. I don't have cable. I have Netflix and Prime and all that, but YouTube is my main source of entertainment on all scales. And it's been that way since I was 12 years old. I've seen the rise and fall of so many YouTubers. I've paid attention to every detail they've done, everything they've done. I consider myself one of the OG, we'll call myself OG YouTube community members. Because I'm not an OG creator. Although I've been making videos since the dawn of YouTube, I haven't, had the audience since then. So, but it like when you when you're surrounded by this, I seen YouTube grow from nothing to what it is today, and I've known everybody involved. I've been a part of the original YouTube. I've been around through all the changes, all the different developments, and then I remember when ads were first introduced into YouTube videos, it was like everyone was freaking out, like, why would YouTube do this? It was freedom. You could do what you want, and then but nobody saw what was going to happen to YouTube. YouTube was a place of absolute freedom of thought and creation. You could make a video, well, to a certain degree, like you couldn't kill people or have sex on videos, but other than that, you can curse, you can swear, same thing. You can curse, you can, you could get away with copywritten music to a degree, but they'd catch on eventually, but you shouldn't do that anyway. You can, make rape jokes or do anything. Look at Shane Dawson. If Shane Dawson is what he is today on YouTube is nothing to what he was back in the day. And yeah, I watched him right when he started, and I still watch him today sometimes. And he is definitely an OG YouTuber, but his first videos, he had that long, stupid hairstyle, and he had characters. Shanae, and they had that blackface character. It was a different time. Back then, YouTube was about doing skits and, making people laugh with skits and sketches. And you still see that today, but it's evolved into a lot of podcasts, a lot of bullshit videos that shouldn't have the views that they do. You can't curse anymore. You can't do certain jokes that can offend certain specific groups of people. You can't, if you're too political in your thoughts, you even risk having your channel completely banned from all platforms, like Alex Jones and Sargon of the Akkad, or whatever the fuck his name is. Why the hell is that his name? And why do people accept that as his name? I don't know. Yeah. So it's as though I've been on the sideline this entire experience of YouTube. I've been on the sideline watching and learning from everyone's mistakes. And in the past, I would try ideas based on what I was seeing in the YouTube community. I made gaming videos before PewDiePie even existed, before that was even a thing. And then it started blowing up, and then, I had a problem sticking with my ideas. If you look back at my channel, you'll see ideas. Videos of things that are now popularized now. But I just didn't stick to it because I was young, very young. Like I was, junior high school, 12 years old, 13 years old. I didn't know what I know now. And you know what? The whole past is all failures, but they're trying. I was trying. Trial and error. You can't succeed without many, many, many failures. And so people will look at this channel, they'll comment and say things like, you're a loser, this content sucks, all that balagna. Growing up with that, with those comments on my videos, it allowed me to become accustomed to that nature, and it allowed me to understand at a young age that those comments don't matter. And really, it's a person behind it, the safety of the computer. If they were right there in front of you, they would never say that shit. So when people get depressed over those comments, that's not something I get depressed over. I get depressed over a lot of things. But YouTube comments, I was able to overcome that at a young age. And I'm so glad. I'm very glad of that. I was going to get to a point, but now I can't remember what I was going to say. YouTube is YouTube YouTube is a wonderful thing. And sometimes I wonder how long it will be a thing. Because as cool and as revolutionary as YouTube is, it's gotten very, very, very corporate. They're so big now that, it still has all kinds of good aspects of you. There's so many good aspects of YouTube. But there's also a lot of bad things. And we've got controversies and, there's so much going on right now. There's so many people involved in YouTube. But with the rise of a excellent endeavor such as YouTube, sometimes it ends in a colossal crash. And so I worry that someday YouTube is gonna crash and burn and it's gonna be no more. Because it happens. Look at Blockbuster. I can't tell you how many good memories I have of Blockbuster. They were once an empire. Is that the right word? They had shit on lockdown. But now they don't even exist. I think there's one left in the world. They don't exist. Children growing up nowadays will never know what it's like. Friday night, your mom says, or your parents say, you want to rent a video game? Or you ask your parents if, can my friend sleep over? Can we go to Blockbuster, rent a video game? And then, it's so exciting. You go to Blockbuster. And you have there's no internet either, so you have no idea what any of these games are actually like. You don't get to test them. You don't get to see reviews online. You don't get to see even footage of the game. All you have is the box that it came in. You look at the back, you read it, and you decide based off that. You make a decision based off that. And then there's times where you'll rent a game that looks like it has potential. You'll get it home. You and your friend will pop it in the N64. And you realize this game is garbage. And then you're like, fuck, well, shit, man. That sucks. But the next time to rent something else. And usually when you find a good game, you'll even go back to that same game. Because It sucks renting a game that sucks. And there was a lot back then, a lot more than there is today. Like, it's hard to find a console game nowadays that's actually shitty. Because we have access to the good games. But even if they're, even though we have access to the online aspect of it, you still don't see shitty games anymore. They're generally all pretty good. But back when they first started, like on the NES, you could rent a game that was like, didn't even make sense. Like, the buttons didn't work sometimes. It was laggy and glitchy, and that happened all the time. The mechanics of the game were off. It was not, it wasn't perfected like it is now. And that's what really makes things interesting and fun. And that's where the good memories are put in place. Whenever something is newly established and everyone's just having a good time, experiencing the new thing, whatever it is, there's no rules, there's no restrictions. You just do and take and come and go. But when something gets too big and too corporate, then that's when it's, that's when you lose the nice spark you have. And I'm talking about YouTube. In the beginning years of YouTube, it was magical. As stupid as that sound, YouTube was fascinating. I'm so glad I was able to grow up with YouTube. It was as though YouTube was part of my family, and I got to watch YouTube grow as I grew. I still remember the first day, well, not the first day, but like the first year YouTube was launched in 2005. I remember talking to one of my best friends, and he's like, have you checked out this website called YouTube? I'm like, no, what is that? And he's like, it's this website with funny videos. There's this one where this kid is rolling down the road on a tricycle, and he hits the curb and crashes, and that kind of stuff you didn't see. Funny cat videos, you never saw that unless you watched America's Funniest Home Videos. And everyone loved that show because of that kind of material. And that was YouTube back then. And before YouTube, there was lots of websites that did similar things, but one in particular that I used to go to was stupidvideos.com. And there was viral videos there. One in particular that I remember was a video called Milk and Cereal. I'm pretty sure I showed it on this podcast, so I'm not going to show it again. But you can look that up, Milk and Cereal. That's a classic viral video. One of the firsts. Absolutely. That is an example of the beginning stages of a viral video. And the term viral video was not a term that didn't exist. The word meme didn't exist. I remember when the word meme started coming around. It took me forever to figure out what a meme was, but I figured it out. And viral video, I knew what that was because I was involved in that world, but it's crazy. It's cool. I'm glad I'm able to say that I've been with YouTube since the dawn of its inception. Not a lot of people can say that. Even though a lot of people were alive during the creation of YouTube, a lot of people just didn't use it. They didn't get involved like I did. They simply used YouTube for the odd tutorial here and there, or the odd cat video here and there. But they didn't involve themselves in the community that is YouTube. It's the community is big now, and it's very involved now. But back then it was different, because there wasn't nearly as many people as there is now on YouTube. So there was more of a connection between the viewer and the creator. It was different. It's hard to explain, but it was. And what makes me really sad is when I go back and watch the YouTubers' videos, like the YouTubers who were popular back in the day, I watch their videos now, and they're just, the views and subscribers have dropped significantly on a lot of those people, and it sucks, because a lot of them are still stuck in that world that they created to establish themselves. They haven't evolved. They're still stuck in 2007. They haven't moved past that, because that is what made them popular. So they feel like they gotta stick to it, and that's totally understandable. But it shows in the amount of views they get. Nowhere near what it used to be. Even though there was less people on the platform back in 2007, they still had more views back in 2007 than they do now. And I know they notice this, but they don't change their ways. And I don't want to name anyone in particular, because I don't want it to feel like I'm pointing fingers at people and saying they don't know what they're doing, because I still have a lot of respect for those YouTubers. And I'm not saying they all did this. Like, Shane Dawson is a great example of someone who knew how to properly evolve with YouTube. If you look back throughout the years of Shane Dawson, you'll pretty well almost every year he found something new. And every year that new thing turned out to be what people wanted to see on YouTube. He's that guy, as much controversy as there is around him or whatever, he is honestly very smart when it comes to YouTube. He knows what to do to get views. Absolutely. And obviously he knows better than me. He knows better than pretty well anyone on YouTube. It's amazing watching Shane Dawson evolve his craft. And like I said, because of I interpret YouTube differently than like my parents would. They don't, when they're watching YouTube, they are not paying attention to even half the things that I'm looking at while I'm watching a YouTube video. I don't watch a YouTube video just for the content. When I'm watching a YouTube video, I'm looking at every little detail that they're doing. The title, the thumbnail, the views, when they uploaded it, how they uploaded it, what they're using for a camera, the things that they're saying in the video, the actual, what are they actually doing in the video. That's an example of a few things, but it's like if a movie director is watching, a movie, they're gonna see it differently, because that's what they create, these things. So yeah, Shane Dawson. And one that's coming to my mind right now is Fred. You might not even know who Fred is. Fred was, at one point, the biggest YouTuber on the platform. He was the first person on YouTube to get 1 million subscribers, and I remember when that happened, and it was like revolutionary. I couldn't believe it. I was like, 1 million? And I wasn't the only one thinking that. Everyone was thinking that. It was crazy. And all he did was change the pitch of his voice and do stupid shit in his backyard. But it was actually funny for people, for kids and my age. I was in the age group that Fred was marketed towards. So I actually enjoyed Fred when it was a thing. But he exploded. He made like a few movies with John Cena. He was featured on iCarly. The first YouTuber ever to be featured on a TV show. What else? He was selling merchandise, which Smosh had already gotten into that, but we'll talk about. Smosh is a whole nother thing. But Fred, he blew up and he was big. And then it didn't last long at all. He went from full peak to almost a instant decline. And now you don't hear a single thing about him. I'm sure he's still doing stuff, but he's not in the public eye like he once was. He makes you wonder, what is he doing now? But he's one of the guys who, I'm sure, I can't remember, but I'm sure he definitely wasn't involved in YouTube. Like, I'm going to say someone like myself. Like, I can't get away from YouTube. If YouTube shut down tomorrow, it would affect me extremely. I can't explain how attached I am to YouTube. I feel like it's weird to say, but YouTube feels like my family. I know how weird that sounds, but I have such a connection to YouTube that I cannot step away from it. I don't even want to. And but there's always a thought in the back of my head that eventually I always fear that eventually YouTube's not going to be a part of my life. Because nothing is really definite. And as as stable as YouTube may seem right now, you can't predict what's going to happen. YouTube could just end eventually. You never know what's going to happen. Like, with this politically correct nature we live in nowadays, it might get to a point where specific groups of people feel that YouTube is a detriment to society because of the controversial videos and whatnot, and that might lead to some sort of proposal to shut down YouTube, and then it could potentially get passed, and then no more YouTube. But there will be something else. If YouTube, the good thing to think about is that YouTube is so established now, and there's so many creators on YouTube who are massive, like Rhett and Link, Shane Dawson, H3H3, Philip DeFranco, that if YouTube were to shut down for whatever reason, they would all come together and create something new. And then it would almost be like a new evolution of some other video platform. So, as worrisome as it might seem, it's best not to think that way. And I don't. But I'm just saying that is a thought that's in my mind sometimes. And again, I'll end this YouTube conversation by saying this. Well, how should I word this? People, if you're just getting involved with YouTube now, or you just have been over the past few years or whatever, you have a different experience than me. It's just the way it is. Nobody's going to see YouTube the way I have seen it, or many others. And there's only a select few of people who can actually say that. It's not like you can be like, oh, I want that connection with YouTube. I'm going to time travel back to 2005 and relive my life revolving around YouTube. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't. And I'm glad and happy to say that I'm one of the people who have been here from the beginning, even though I'm not an established person on YouTube. Say it again, because I know I'll get backlash, but I don't care. I know I'm not popular, but what I am doing is working toward the goal, and to become a successful YouTuber from the ground up with no help, it doesn't happen overnight. And then there's the rare occasion where it does with a viral video, but that is not the way to do it. Viral videos generally are it unexpectedly happens. And even though you get a lot of views and you're popular for that moment, you become known as, your identity becomes associated with that viral video. And your popularity, although it's large at the moment, it generally doesn't stick with those people. They're entertained by it for a little bit, and they check out their other videos, and they subscribe and whatnot, but then they don't have the connection with the creator. They just know them for this viral video that they happen to stumble upon. So that big audience you once had declines, and it declines rapidly. And then you got to do it all over again. Whereas, if you slowly progress, you slowly build a connection with an audience, then it's established. Then there's the connection. Your audience will want you to stick around, and they will notice when you go away, and they'll ask for more. Whereas if I was just discovered through a viral video, there's no connection between the audience and the creator. So it's a short-term solution to fame. And that is not what I want. And again, viral videos are not even predictable. But they can be. If you really know what you're doing, and if you have help from established people, you can create a video, upload it, predict it's going to go viral, and it will go viral. Jimmy Kimmel did this a few years ago. He, without telling anyone, saying nothing, he created a fake viral video where this girl, a stunt girl, was like back when the wall twerking upside down was popular. He had a stunt girl, do that and then fall over and her hair caught on fire or something. And he filmed it with a cell phone, and it looked like a typical homemade type video, and because of that it went viral. But not only because of that, but because he had a team of, you know, publicity people and marketing people, whoever's out there. He had people figure out exactly what needs to be, you know, taking place to make a video go viral. And he just put it out there and it went viral. But they didn't just upload it to YouTube and then wait for people to view it. They actually spread it around, and, you know, so there's ways to predict a viral video, but generally a viral video is just, it's spontaneous. You can't predict it. That's the whole idea of a viral video, is that it came from nothing. But that's not a way to establish your fame. What is good, though, is when you're already established and you have that connection with your audience, and then you make a video, and then that video goes viral. Okay? So you already have your audience, you already have that connection, but then you make another video where that goes viral. Now you've got a whole bunch of newcomers, and the newcomers interact with the people who are already there, and the newcomers see the connection between the audience and the creator, and they say, "Oh, I want in on that." And then, you know, now you've got a whole bunch more fans, and then you can grow even more, and then it becomes easier. And when you're established at that point, it makes it easier to create viral content, because you already have the support of your viewers to push it, to get it out there. And once it's out, and then, you know, once it gets out there and people see the views, and then it ends up on Facebook and all these places and blah 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 blah. You know, I could literally talk about YouTube techniques for hours. And these are all just based on what I've seen and experienced through the growth of YouTube. Because, you know, I'm not a professional. There's no class, there's no schooling for understanding this YouTube world. There might be someday, and maybe there's a little something out there right now, but it doesn't matter who you are, what you do, if you're involved with something, as long as I have, especially through the development of your childhood and through your adulthood, you're guaranteed to understand the ins and outs of whatever that particular thing is. And so this is not me bragging. This is not me trying to flaunt or show or pretend, because I'm not pretending. It's just reality. And so you may have questions like, well, what are you doing? What are you putting on the table? What are the specific key components you're putting in place in these podcasts that you're releasing? Well, I'm not going to tell you. And most of it is not straightforward apparent. A lot of it is done, I'd like to say subconsciously, but that's, you know, it's more like because I've seen it so much that I kind of just do it. It kind of just happens. It flows naturally. The things that need to be done. It's one of those things where if it's hard to just explain and think about what's really going on. You have to see it poured out. And if you analyze what I've done, along with the experience of how YouTube works, you can see what I'm doing. And again, you'll say to yourself, well, if you're doing this, why hasn't it been a success yet? Well, there's many factors. One being, there's how many millions or even billions of users on YouTube now. I can't remember how many videos a second are uploaded, but it's a ridiculously high rate. I'm starting from nothing, from no one. No one's helping me. I'm not asking people to help me. I'm doing things I guess you could say it's kind of the old school way, but it's the hard work way. It's like I said, it doesn't happen overnight. If you put out enough content and do it properly, you will get recognized. And consistency. If there's one thing I'll say about YouTube, when it comes to becoming a success on YouTube, and I've always said this, and I'll always say this for as long as YouTube exists, consistency of uploads is key. That is the key component. The second you stop uploading, your audience disappears or can disappear. People want regularly scheduled content. There's so much content out there that once you stop, people move on and they'll get hooked on whatever else is out there. And then they'll forget about you. And then when you start up again, they're like, they forget what the connection was with that person. And yeah, people, if you get back into it, you'll remember the good times you had watching those videos, and you can rebuild that connection. But as long as you stay consistently uploading, and by that I mean whatever your schedule is. If you're known for uploading once a week, then keep doing that. If you're known for uploading every day, that's a hard schedule to do. But if that's what your channel's known for, you do it that way. And if you wanna, cut back and take a break, you gotta slowly do it. Go from making a video every day to a video every 5 days, and then a few months later, every 3 days. You can't just snip the cord right there, right away. It's a gradual progression. And then even then, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful on YouTube. Because any little thing you do can cause your audience to leave you. Okay? And when you're evolving your channel, which needs to be done, you can still do the content you're doing. You just have to evolve the ways you're doing it. You gotta stick with the times. As nostalgic as it may feel to stay in the mindset of what established you, is in the long run, it's gonna hurt you. Because ideas change, people grow, Your audience grows. You're constantly getting new audience members, and everyone's influenced upon everything else that's happening in the YouTube world and in just the media world in general. You gotta get involved in what else that's going on. And, because if you notice a decline in your viewership, that's could more than likely potentially be because you're not evolving your channel. You have to change. You have to. Good Mythical Morning is not what it was when it started, but it still has those aspects of Good Mythical Morning. Shane Dawson. Now, Shane Dawson, I love talking about Shane Dawson because he's so... Oh, that guy does things brilliantly. Now, his evolution is crazy. Like, he completely changes his content. He doesn't manipulate it to be a little bit different and slowly turn into something else. He went from like goofy skits to like to cooking videos to conspiracy theory videos, and now he's doing like documentary style videos, and then there's all kinds of stuff in between that he's done, and every time he's done something, it worked every single time. And each time he does this, he gains more views and more subscribers and more attention. And it's beautiful what he can do. He's one of the only ones that has done that. Maybe even the only one. There's so many YouTubers now, it's hard to... I can't keep track of all of them. But he's an OG. And his evolution is crazy. In a good way. And here's what I wanted to mention. Earlier when I was talking about viral videos and how they can hurt you, there's a channel called Mr. Epic Man, I think. Mr. Epic Man. I don't know how many years ago now, like 5 years ago maybe, one of their videos went viral. It was called, or still is called, How Do Animals Eat or something. Hold on, I want to look this up. MEM, How Do Animals Eat, is that it? How Animals Eat Their Food. It's basically two guys sitting across from each other at a table. The table is actually just a cardboard box with a sheet over it, but it looks like a table. And, there's the guy on one side who's eating normally like a human, and then the guy on the other side is pretending to be whatever animal it is, and they go through each animal, and he eats like the animal crazily, and it was really funny. I don't know if it's still funny this day, but that video went extremely viral. I'm gonna look at how many views it has right now. It went stupidly, yeah. Right now it has 134 million views. Okay? The channel has 3.4 million subscribers. I'm one of them. Now, although they may and probably were known before this video, they definitely weren't a mainstream YouTube channel. No one I knew them, and no one really knew them. But when this How Animals Eat Their Food video came out, they blew the fuck up. They were, the talk of the town for about a month. Alright? Everyone who watched this video, who discovered this video, ended up subscribing, checking out their other videos, and realizing they make really funny content. I am one included. But, you know, it didn't take long until everyone forgot about them. They were no longer cool anymore. Everyone forgot about them, and this insane amount of new subscribers they gained from this video forgot about them. And that connection you need didn't exist, and still doesn't to this day. Even though they have 3.4 million subscribers, and I'm sure they have they have some sort of connection with an audience, it's not what it could be. It isn't. Like, we could take a look at one of their recently uploaded videos. Yeah. Well, they haven't uploaded in 2 years, but the most recent video only has 300k views. And there's some here that only have 50k views. And you look at this and you're like, well, they have 3.4 million subscribers, but they're not getting the views. Well, that's because no one cares about them anymore. I hate to say that, but no one does. And they will forever be known as the How Animals Eat Their Food guys. Because more people discovered them through that video than actually discovering their channel and, building this relationship that I'm talking about. Now, you can get out of this rut if, there's ways to get out of this. They have to find a way to, not be known as the How Animals Eat Their Food channel. And there's ways of doing it. That's something I'm not too familiar on because not a lot of people do that. Usually when people get, blown up because of one video, they either stick with that concept and try to continue to gain momentum from that one concept, or they give up. And there is the odd person who found a way to get out of the viral video, whatever you want to call it. There have been people who have pushed away from the viral video that made them famous. Because like I said, when that viral video blows up, that is what you're known for. And it's hard to get away from that. And people can get away from it, but I'd say that's one of the things I don't really know how you would. And it's and you might even say it's almost impossible. But even though Mr. Epic Man doesn't have the views that they should, they still have views. So there's still, it doesn't hurt you to a point where you get no views. It can. It definitely can, and it has happened. I can't really think of an example of a channel right now, but so there's all kinds of things you got to think about when doing YouTube. So that's why I'm trying to be careful. No one takes this seriously. Well, I shouldn't say no one, but a lot of people won't take it seriously. They think, oh, I'm just going to upload a video. It's going to get thousands of views, and I'm going to make a bunch of money off a viral video. Because they don't care about YouTube. But when you care, you can really make something happen. I think I've talked enough about YouTube. I've got one video to show. It is this is a video I made on a channel that I created back when I was in high school. Me and my friend, one of my good friends, one of my best friends, his name's Cashton, we decided to create a YouTube channel separate from DynamiteGizmo. And we were at his house, well, his parents' house one night, and sorry, I just gotta plug something in. We were at his parents' house one night trying to come up with the name for this new channel we were going to create. And hold on one second. Down, 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 up, up, up. Okay. We were trying to come up with a name. And for supper that night, his parents made rice and some other shit. So there was a bunch of rice left over in the pot on the stove still. We came upstairs late at night, still trying to come up with a name for the channel. We were mostly just fucking around thinking of goofy skits we could do, but we were trying to come up with a name for the channel. We got hungry, so we went upstairs, got some rice. And just out of nowhere, since we were on the topic of YouTube and videos and whatnot, Cashton was just like, he looked at me and he goes, "Lights, camera," and he wanted me to say action. But then I was scooping up the rice and I just said, "Rice!" And we laughed maniacally for, I don't know, 15 minutes it felt like. And right at that moment, we somehow just said, that's the name of the channel. Lights, Camera, Rice. So that's the story of how this channel was created. Not a lot of videos on this channel. I don't even know. There's we'll check that out after. But this one video in particular I want to show is one that I made in high school and put it on the Lights Camera. I made it, not only was I in high school at the time, this video was made at the high school that I went to, in the gym. So I don't know what year it was. Would have been 2012 or 11? I don't know. 2011, 2012, somewhere in there. Whenever the Harlem Shake, or maybe it was 2013. No, because I was in grade 11, I think. No, I would have been in grade 12, maybe. So it was either 2012, whenever the Harlem Shake was in its prime. Actually, I'll just look at when it was uploaded. Yeah, February 22nd, 2013. This is around the time when the Harlem Shake was in its prime. If you do not know what the Harlem Shake is, I'll give you a quick rundown, but go look it up yourself. Filthy Frank, he's a YouTuber, created a viral video of him dancing goofily to this song made by, I can't remember the fucking guy's name. I used to be a fan of him, but he created a song called The Harlem Shake. It was this viral sensation for a few months. Anyway, people copied his Filthy Frank's format of this video, and every fucking one, I can't even explain, like literally every YouTuber, every company, every mom and pop shop, like everybody was making a Harlem Shake video. And I talked to my film studies teacher, and I said, we should do this with our high school. And he liked the idea, and we did it. So I filmed and edited and starred in this high school rendition of the Harlem Shake. We arranged with the principal, told him what we were doing, and we made an announcement at whatever time of the day it was, and we got every single student from the school in the gymnasium, and we made this viral, or no, not viral. We made this Harlem Shake video. It's definitely not viral. Now, compared to other Harlem Shake videos, this one sucks dick. Not even compared to other Harlem Shake videos, this Harlem Shake is not good. It's not good. But it's not the worst thing in the world. But it's a memory I have. So, if you've never heard of or seen a Harlem Shake video, I recommend you pause this podcast right now, go watch Filthy Frank's Harlem Shake, and then go watch some other popular ones. That'll give you a baseline understanding of how the video is formatted, because there's a specific way to do it, and it's hard for me to explain it. You just gotta see it. You gotta see it, and then you come back here and watch this one. So here we go. This is my... Oh, and I'll say this before I start. It looks like there's fuck all for students in the background. That's because this was a very tiny school, kindergarten to grade 12, and there was only about 300 students total. And I don't even know if we had every single student in this, but that's why it doesn't look like there's a lot of students. Okay, here we go. Let's watch it. I'm on the left. I'm dancing right now. It's just a bunch of children. That's the Harlem Shake. People have done way better renditions, and you can see the comments here. That's pretty gay as fuck. Well, that felt like 30 minutes setting it up, which it did. I'm in the crowd. This was my hometown, and looking back at this, I think this was pretty idiotic. I liked both the comments, because again, like I said, these people comment this bullshit because they're protected behind the wall of their computer. So that was my Harlem Shake. A little story. Little do. Let's see. Go to the channel. Yeah. I literally only have this video and the one me and Cashton made. And another friend named Chester. And Chester is the guy in the Harlem Shake video, the other guy. So if you're curious, I recommend you go check out Driving Motivation, this video here. Let me zoom in here. Can I? Yeah. Driving Motivation. It's on my Lights Camera Rice channel. There will never ever be anything else uploaded to this channel other than these two videos. So yeah. There's another channel I created one time ago, and maybe I'll talk about that in some other episode. But as for now, I think that should be it. We're gonna wrap it up. Wrap it up. Wrap it up, folks. So yeah. Yes, everyone, YouTube. You want to be a YouTuber? I'll end with this. If you want to be a YouTuber, what you gotta do is simply start it. Do it. But don't do something that's complicated. Because if you do something that's too complicated and out of your reach, whether that's, it's too difficult to edit, or it takes too much of your time because the videos are so long, or if it's too complicated, you're going to get sick of it and you're going to get bored and you're going to stop doing it. You got to start simple. And that doesn't mean you should cop out and just make something for the views. I just mean you don't need extravagant, high quality video to become a success on YouTube. It's all about the content. It's not about your editing skills. It's not about your acting skills. Well, unless your content revolves around acting, but it's just about making good content. Whatever it is. It can literally be anything. If you have an interest or a thought of starting a YouTube channel, what I will say is don't feel discouraged that you get no views. And don't give up. Stay consistent. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's not even going to happen over a few months. And it's not even going to happen over a few years. If you really want to become a success on YouTube, and you can become a success within a few months or within less than a year, but that takes a lot of promotion, and you can do it, but that's a lot of work. That's a lot of effort. And you might be asking yourself, well, why aren't I promoting my channel more? And there's a few reasons. First reason is that I'm not experienced in that field whatsoever. I'm horrible at promotion and all that bullshit. I've thought about ideas of how to do it, and I am willing to put those ideas in place. But first, what I want to do is establish my channel. I want to have a good amount of videos uploaded first. Because if you have nothing on your channel, but you're trying to promote it, people are going to come to your channel and say, this guy has no content. Why should I subscribe? They're going to look at your channel and they're going to say, I don't even know if this guy's going to be committed to uploading. There's no way if I can commit to this channel if they're not even an established channel yet. But if you have the baseline already set and people go to your channel and they see, oh, this guy's got over 300 some videos and he's consistently uploading, wow, I could do something with, I could stick with this channel. I could become a fan. So that's what I'm doing. And plus, when it comes to YouTube, you don't necessarily have to promote your content to a certain degree, because if you put enough out there, you will get the views. And then on top of that, it's the consistency that people see, and then the thumbnails and the titles, and there's all kinds of aspects put at play. And people get discouraged because they don't become an established YouTube personality right off the bat. And that's one of the reasons why I haven't stuck with a lot of my projects that I've done on YouTube. I've definitely had ideas of different video series, like the what was it? Like the Man vs. Wild type series that I did, and the Let's Rant. I really had potential, but I didn't stick with it. That was like an epiphany moment I had. But anyway, go check out Driving Motivation on Lights Camera Rice. It's actually funny. Well, it's funny to me. I still laugh to this day at it. Also, go check out my old content on this channel. Watch it from the beginning till up to the point where I start doing the podcast, and you'll see. You might be able to see what I was doing. The things I've put in place. And if not, well, doesn't matter. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the DynamiteGizmo podcast. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace, brother. Brother, oh brother, where art thou? But, I don't know. Maybe one day. I feel like if I did that, though. Humba, humba, humbe. I just knocked it down and I didn't want to. I just knocked it down and I didn't want to. I just knocked it. Yeah, I just knocked it. I just knocked it. I just knocked it all with